There are some areas that are going to find it difficult than others. I use retail as an example because I've got a bit of experience in it. And I said it yesterday on some show where there was 4 million square feet approximately of retail space in this country. 2003, there's now 16 million square feet of retail space in 2008. Or 2008. Now we have too much retail space, so retail is in trouble. So I'd be saying if you're in the 70%, work hard and you'll get through it. If you're an entrepreneur, look for an idea and it'll work, because taking on people who are under pressure, very easy to outmaneuver them. And if you're in the 30% that could fail or a high chance of failing, get out of that bloody business. That's how I would go about it. But keep smiling. It's not the end of the world. If you go broke, if you get fired, if you lose your job, there's always another one down the road. So keep positive. That would be my advice.
Minister.
I was a small business person, so I do have that experience. And I that sense when you go in the door and the first question you ask some people is, what should we sell today? Can we pay people next week? I know that's like. I know it's like to hear the hooves of the sheriff's horse arriving because you haven't done your VAT returns in time and you're frantically pulling everything together. So I know what it's like. Two things I think at the moment. I think some quoted, I think it was the Chinese premier, he said, today confidence is more important than either credit or gold. That was interesting. In terms, that's with the global perspective, confidence needs to come back before before the recovery happens. But I think in a very specific way, if I was to say, what's the key thing in any business? It's the people you have working for you. It's actually the quality of the people. And their confidence in what you're doing, their confidence in the future of the business they're in is actually, I think, probably the most important thing. Because if they feel that this is something that I'm proud to be part of, that I enjoy working in, that'll be successful then. That actually probably the key determinant of success or failure is whether people who are working for you believe in what they're doing and what you're doing. And I think that it's that sense of confidence in your staff is probably in my mind, and the competence as well of them obviously, but that's the most important thing, first thing to survive. Second, and I would agree with Eddie, I think one of the things we're going to have to do is to have a completely different banking culture. I would hate to see us go back to when I started in 1989. I went into AIB looking for a loan of 10,000 euros, and they got my mother to sign over her house to our house, family house, to get it. It was for working capital, to advertising and so on. And it was triple locked every which way. I think we're going to have a banking culture that reflects what we're going to have as a general culture, is a more enterprising culture in this country. We're going to have to get away from obsession and mania property, which has done us huge damage as a people in my mind. The greatest damage in my lifetime was the property boom. Huge transfer of wealth from younger people to older people. Huge transfer of wealth to pay off mortgages, which was unproductive in my mind. So when we get our banking system working again, which we will, I think it requires a complete change of culture within the banks, and which will reflect a change of culture in wider society, that we are now an enterprising society, that we don't make our money out of bricks and mortar. And I actually think we're ready for that. I think we're not back to the 80s. I think we are more confident, more skilled, more able, better resourced. So I think we're just about grown up enough now as a country to stand on our own 2 feet in an enterprising way. So I think, but it will need a banking culture and system that actually supports that and supports small businesses in particular.
Changing cultures doesn't happen quickly, but I suppose it can be ratcheted, the change can be ratcheted over by the recession and by the alarm that people have felt, and by the trouble the banks got us into, and the unpopularity and so on. So do you think that provides a platform for a change of culture?
I think we're still in a state of shock. It only seemed like yesterday we were deciding whether we buy in Bulgaria or Albania or whatnot, and then the next day suddenly we can hardly afford a coffee, it seems. And it's that speed of that shift has just absolutely shocked everyone. But I think it is an opportunity. I think a lot of what was going on was wrong. It was damaging to our society, was not productive, was not sustainable. And if we can actually use this shocking change to steer us on a better course, a more sustainable, a greener course, then I think, and I think that is possible, then I think we will do better at it.
Okay, I'm going to call on Fidel McGreen for her question, and can I alert William Martin that I'll be coming to him next. In general, by the way, 2 points. One is that some of the questions were fairly long as worded, so if you can, and sometimes repetitive, some people put in 2 questions, but really essentially the same question if you read it closely. So if you can sort of ad-lib your question and give us the gist of it, but secondly, I won't necessarily go to each panellist on every question, because I want to use the time frame as best. At the same time, the reason I'm at this angle is that if any of them want to come in on a question that's there already, they just need to catch my eye. And yes, Fidel McGreen.
Good morning, everybody. Ireland's feeling the heat more intensely from the recession compared to other countries across the globe. Out of this chaos can come transformation. We as a nation have an opportunity now to lead the way forward, using a more ethical and holistic approach. Who will spearhead this, and how can we all get involved?
So you're saying the recession is itself an opportunity for transformation? Yes,
it is. I believe that, and Eamon, you have just mentioned it as well, it's our culture. It's a time for a shift. And it's a shift that's happened globally, but Ireland, because we're feeling the pain more, we have an opportunity to turn this around faster.
Okay.
So I'm looking for volunteers.
Yeah. Ben Dunn.
Well, I believe that the last 10 years we went down a road of really changing what we were good at, and we became property developers and bankers and quick flips and flops, and we forgot about our own really strong industries like agriculture, like tourism. Everything went around property and financial stuff. Now that has landed us mainly in the trouble we're in today, and of course our powers to be, and there's one of them sitting beside me here, would blame Lehman Brothers and world recession. But if we'd have kept fishing, and if we'd have kept agriculture, and if we'd have kept tourism, and kept our Céad Míle Fáilte, and made Ireland a very, very friendly country to come to, and kept our prices down, if we had hotel rooms available in Dublin over the last 5 years at €65 a night, this country would be bursting with tourists. If we had made rounds of golf €20 as it is now, to play a round of golf early morning or at certain times, we would be bursting with people coming to Ireland to play golf in Ireland. So we've done everything too late, and I think it's not too late to change. I still think we need the high-tech stuff. I still think we need the banks and the financial services centre, but shoemaker stick here last. We thought we were something that we're not. We're not America. We're a small nation. We were a nation of shopkeepers. We're an agricultural country. But food, in my opinion, is as important as oil. And they'll run out of oil, and they'll find a way, the Greens and others will find a way of living in this world without oil. But nobody will find out a way of living without food. Develop what we're strong at. Use the other things as part of our economy, but develop our economy on what we are good at. That would be my way of going about it.
Eddie?
Well, I'd just like to add to what Ben is saying. Firstly, there's an awful lot of cash still out there. I know it sounds a strange thing to say, but there's trillions in cash sitting on the sidelines globally as well, and a lot of it, some of that is in Ireland. People have made money and they're not doing anything with it, so there's cash available. The timing, the psychology isn't quite there yet, as we all know, in terms of putting it into stuff. I think that new business leaders are going to emerge in Ireland. The education is there, the experience is there. There's one major venture already, which is the Spirit of Ireland venture, that I think has an awful lot of potential to transform the Irish energy area, and that's been led by an entrepreneur, Graham O'Donnell. That's just one example.